speakers. We are the team Fatman and Boys who will be conducting our presentation on the case study given. So, first of all, the situation analysis that we conduct. Well, in the situation analysis, it's given that Bangladesh, where 65% of the population is under 35 years old, is facing rising number of graduates as well as insufficient business growth, where it leads to scarcity of jobs in the different sectors. Also, there is an education system. The education system is not career focused, or it does not focus on how to build your career directly. And the people's perception about vocational education and their perception of small jobs is very negative. Moving on. So one of the problems that we identified after analyzing the case was perception towards vocational education or career-oriented education and institutions. People think of it in a negative way. People think if I, for example, would want to study in Krishi Institute or starting a mushroom business, my parents would be like, why would you want to go to Krishi Institute? Why not any other university? You have other university, mainstream education. They do not want to send the other people to these educational, vocational institutions. Instead, they prefer mainstream educational institutes. Another one is the government regulations on making education selection process a binary choice. Either you have to study in the technical aspects or the theoretical aspects. You can get a degree on the total agriculture prospect, or you can learn like how to harvest your mushrooms and how to actually do the stuff. So these are two problems that we identified. Moving on. After coming to the analysis that we conducted, we decided that we would be promoting the campaign in such a way that it says education has no classification. There is no mainstream education. There is no technical education. Everything that we learn is actually considered as mainstream education, because you don't have technical studies, you do not have like different other mainstream studies that we have, like BBA or any other stuff. Moving on, the redesigning process.
So the redesigning process. So what we will be saying is that compulsory technical courses in school and colleges. So what first aspect that we say that we will not give any classification in case of education. Because why? Because people think that vocational education and technical education is demeaning. That's why we think that we will not give this classification. Rather, we will incorporate the vocational education in primary, school, and also in college sectors. Now, this is very common in case of many team may come up with this, but one. That's why we will be giving you some other ideas. That's how it would just prove our tagline in a very different way. Now, redesigning. The second thing of redesigning is incorporation of technical courses in university education. Now, what we see is people do have to take a binary choice when they come up into this stage. They have to go for vocational education or they go for mainstream education in university. So what happens if we incorporate the faculty of technical studies in case of universities, then what we see that a definite number of graduates in technical studies are coming out in India. So what happens in these cases, there is not a drastic change, rather than a gradual change into the process. Because when Dhaka University incorporates faculty of technical studies into them, and there are 4 or 5 departments into it, so every year there is like 500 students going into it. So what happens is that at a distinctive time, we see that people are being interested into this, and that's how a gradual change comes into the process. The third thing is online technical education platform. Now what happens is that the other scenario is you do not go to this polytechnic institutions or other stuff, because people would say you that yes, you go to polytechnic institution, you are someone who is not capable enough of mainstream education. So what happens? This is the process. When you sit in your home, if you want to know about mushroom agriculture in your home, go for this online technical education platform, and you get a certification from a central university. Now, what we give a very distinctive idea is all lectures will be in Bangla. Why? Because we will be coming up, because the ratio of dropouts from SSC and HSC has been a great number. Now these people goes to the polytechnic institutions. Now the second thing what we'll be saying is we would be just now the second thing that we'll be saying is the dropouts would be calculated in this way. Now
as a part of redesigning, we have thought about making an online technical education center. For whom we are doing this, stats shows that from 2012 to this year, the average dropout rate was 24% in the HSC level in our country. In numbers, it's 2.2 lakh approximately last year. Now, where does the dropout student go? Here it comes. We tell them that we are giving you stipend and incentives, and we are telling them that your life is not over. Come to our institute, learn something what you like, go out there and make a difference in your life. As a part of redesigning, we have also thought about substituting all the technical education institutions in our countries to normal schools and colleges, where we are also providing technical know-how to the children in the basic level. And also, we will be affiliating with the banks for campus funding and for SME loans. Moving on to the promotions, we were asked to promote vocational education in our country, but aligning our promotions with our strategies, we will be saying that every job is a white-collar job. In our country, people have the perception that jobs are of two categories. A job that includes physical labor and another one that includes mental labor. But what we fail to realize is that these two things are basically the same. Whether you do your work with your hand or with your brain, these two are coming out from the same organ of your body. The body is the same, the organs are different. So what we say is that every job is a white-collar job. What you do, what your qualities are, that whether you know about the technical skills, the abilities that you have, your job can be qualified as a white-collar job if you can show that the work you're doing, you're the right person to do. You have the certificate. Whether you're a worker of a factory or the engineer of a factory, your job is a white-collar job. Now, we will be aligning our television commercials and radio commercials and social media marketing with this tagline that every job is a white-collar job. And then we will be coming up with a television show called Kajer Kaji. Now, what we see that every one of us in our life we come up to some people that have the technical experts. For example, we may know a technician, a person who can repair fridge, who has been doing this for the past 20 years of his life, and he's very good at it. But he doesn't have any certificate for it. He has not gone to any university. He's not known for his certificates or the educational institution that he has been a part of. He is known for the technical skills, his expertise. We will be bringing up, for example, we all know about Nanar Birani or Dabbawala. We don't know about these people for their technical skills. For the educational institution that they went to, we know them for their technical skills. So what we will do is that bring out these people from our society who have learned, who have succeeded in their life, and we will create inspiration for people. For the part of promotion, we have also planned about innovation seed funding competitions, and they have already said that we will be opening a faculty under the name of Faculty of Technical Education Studies in every public universities in our countries. So we'll be arranging a competition under that faculty, which will be open for all students. But we will be doing that. We will not only fund the best ideas, we will also fund the innovative potential ideas and give them a chance to make a difference in their own.
Now coming to the results, what we see a change in societal view, because when we say that yes, it's every job is a white collar job, and make them understand that yes, if you are a technically capable person and you do not need certificate, rather than you have that social, we give them that social dignity in taking them towards the television. That changes the societal view. That changes how people think about this technical knowledge, and that's how students will be thinking, yes, I can pursue this career, and the parents will be thinking, yes, I can send my children towards vocational education. The second thing is the optimistic approach to learn. The thing I was talking just a moment before, that the students will be making their optimistic view and will not have to take a binary decision of going into a vocational education or a mainstream education. Thus, they would have the chance, even if they don't get a sufficient job, has sufficient knowledge to turn on to their technical knowledge and capabilities into action and thus do something. The last thing is developing career-focused education. So, the main thing of the whole scenario is the unemployment problem, and that's we need to solve the unemployment problem. And when we set up the whole model and the promotional tools into actions, we see a developing career for career education. Or just this not be a drastic change, but what ideas we have that would bring a gradual change in the mind of the people, and thus we would see that the education sector of ours is developing into a career-focused education. Thank you, sir.
Good presentation, guys. Very good start. Good presentation. The situation analysis was very good.
The redesigning part was very good. Faculty of Technical Studies absolutely brilliant. Kadir Kaji was very good. I did not understand what is Dabba Wala in Bangladesh. The plan of writing it in Bengali, very good. In fact, the whole presentation was pretty good. It was a solid presentation. You guys addressed the mindset of the people, and I like the idea that you guys are going for a gradual change. So my question is, if it's a gradual change, what is the timeline we are looking at?
Sir, if we're looking at the timeline, now, if we're thinking about a gradual change in case of faculty and students going under this process. Now, if a student starts its compulsory vocational education from school, so and ends up into education and faculty of technical studies, so it needs almost 16 years to pass his whole education, where there is compulsory vocational studies and other, if he is or is not in technical studies. So we think that it almost will need around 15 to 16 years for the whole country to realize that yes, we have changed, and yes, we have a gradual process into consideration.
So that is when the outcome will come, right? So what about the plans you have? I mean, the TVCs or the RDCs. So till when you guys are going to run it? What's the timeline for that?
So timeline for that, sir. Sir, basically what we have thought is this is the bang-on process for the first time. When we because at the very first step, if we are changing the whole educational platform, then what we have to do to make some hit into the mind of the people that yes, we are doing this stuff, and give some rational studies that why we are doing this stuff. That's why we would be at the very initial start, we will be going through the TVC and RDC to change the societal view at the very first, so that even if we are giving a faculty of technical studies in Dhaka University, there may be students who are coming into Dhaka University giving the admission test but dropping out because they are into technical studies. But not even if we do not change the societal view by the first bang on and make people realize by those TVC and RDC, then we think that we'll fail. That's why we have done that thing. And after that, the impact of those TVC and RDC, we think that people will have a change, and that's how we will be successful in our lives.
So, all right. So since this whole thing talks about changing the mindset of the people, do you think that TVC is a better medium, or a television drama serial would have been a better medium?
What we think, it will have some influence, of course. What we're doing is like a huge step, changing people's perception.
Absolutely.
It's a huge step. So we believe that these things will be like the baby steps towards that actual change. It will like change slowly, get into people's perception that, you know what, maybe I can do this instead of that, maybe go for technical studies instead of mainstream studies. And so we believe that it's like, if it's not a crucial step, it might be the baby steps, the special one that will actually like, start off the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So my question was that,
Adding to that, your question was that why we are going for TVC. So that's why we thought about that and brought up with that idea. Now, when you see the concept of that thing, TV show was like the thing is like when you face some problem regularly in your life, like if you are having a problem with your mobile, you are going to a mechanic. So what happens? We are doing something like someone will pop up in the TV and come up and say that, okay, you are facing a problem in your mobile every day, but you really don't know how to solve it. Again, you have to run to any out of market. Now I bring in this guy who is a technical guy and working for 20 years.
No, I understand the concept of the show. My question is, since we're talking about changing the mindset of the people, so what if, and since the government fund project, so what if we demanded money from the government, we give the requisition that we need money to make a movie or a drama or a telefilm, which would showcase the success of a certain technical personality, right? So that would have been a better idea.
About that television show, we are doing reality-based show.
No, television show is perfect, all right. It's sold.
Yes.
My question is TVC versus a 30-second TVC versus a movie, a government fund movie. সরকারের অনুদানে movie হয় না?
Sir, in that case, what we have is a perception of people towards governments. Now, maybe it's mean, but what we have to say is the perception of people towards the government is they are not someone who brings up quality things into consideration. So if we are making a movie which is funded by government, I don't think, and the practical situation, the status quo doesn't tell us that there will be a huge number of young generation going into the scenarios. So we thought TVC would be a better option in that.
Problem with the answer is this whole project will ideally be funded by government, right?
Yes, yes.
So
It's not about the fun, it's about the duration. What you suggested a movie, it's a long run. The movie takes a long time to make, and it will have a long time effect. For example,
yeah, but we have 16 years, right? We have 16 years in our hand.
in the longer run, we are making a television show which will
Exactly.
have a long time duration, and for the short effect and the immediate effect, we will have the 30 seconds. That will change your mind. That will have into your subconscious mind, and the television show will gradually.
Television show is sold, guys. It's a good idea. It's sold. Fine. Let's not brag it. It's about TVC and television show.
So if it's 30 seconds, it will hit your mind. But you always do not want to see a 3 hours movie. Sir. So we thought that this would be a better option.
All right. Good. Good.
Good presentation. It's a dream project. So you need to dream to practical in some aspect. And you know that the reform initiatives is very tough task, particularly the 360 degree. If it is 360 degree reverse, then very tough to materialize. Okay, just I want to know some basic questions. Your presentation you mentioned that our education system is not career focused. So just you give me 2 or 3 points. Why? Number one. And the second is the how you can justify or promote our vocational training. How you can just 1 or 2 points.
Basically, that we already have the facility to go for vocational education and general education, but our people, our country's people, they don't have the interest towards vocational education. So if we ourselves, the government, distinguishes education in 2 different platforms, like we ourselves label general education and technical education. So if we ourselves, being the government, we ourselves make it classifications, we use 2 different choices, then people will focus on the better thing that they will find, that whatever they prefer most. But we can say that there is nothing, 2 different separate of entities. They both have the general education. There will be only one sort of education, and then you can go on in your university sector where you can choose to be either a BA graduate or a technical education graduate or a medical graduate or an engineering graduate. So we have the choice there.
So what happens in today's education is that after I finish being a BBA graduate, I really don't, I have much knowledge about managing a company, but I do not get a company to manage. So what happens is I do not have the sufficient technical knowledge to run something on my own. So what happens is I get scolded from my parents, and the society thinks that I am not a person who is useful in the society. So what we thought, if we make compulsory vocational education into primary and secondary education. So what happens is people have to take that vocational education. Now, when these people do not have any job to do, they would think that yes, I have some knowledge, because the necessity comes with some definite urge to do something. That's what we thought. When you have a necessity to do, so what you think that I have the necessity and I have the compulsory knowledge, so I think that I can utilize it. That's why we have made it compulsory. So at least people, when are in necessity, use those knowledge and can use this knowledge. So that that's when become an unemployed man becomes an entrepreneur, maybe a medium or small entrepreneur.
Do you have any example? Most of the time we are following the others world example, developed countries example, or any developing countries example. Any examples in this area? The technical training and professional training or general training compulsory?
Yes. This is an example of online vocational training courses which is named on We Build Tech. This is a screenshot of that because we really didn't produce any website. So this is a screenshot of that website, and this website gives an online vocational training courses. Now what happens is that what we have also suggested that when the class is going on in the Faculty of Technical Studies, the video is made and uploaded in this kind of online platform, then people easily can take into consideration and learn from there. So we have gone through the study of this online vocational training courses.
We all know that, for example, sir, if I say that in my university there is a lecturer who knows how to play guitar, he's a member of a band. So maybe playing guitar is not a part of the vocational education, but he knows how to play guitar, he loves music, so he's a member of a band. So say if a person when he's in school learns about how to make how to do electrician work, when he grows up and if he fails to get a job in say marketing sector, he's a graduate from marketing, he didn't get a job in marketing sector, but he knows how to repair electronic items. So then he will come up that I know that I have learned that in my school or in my university. He will utilize that knowledge and go to that sector. That will lessen our unemployment problem.
Also, one more thing, sir. If you go through the educational system of the U.S., the United States, there is like some compulsory education. Other skills that you have to learn in school. You have to do some courses like carpentry. You have to do physical education. There's medical courses. You have language courses. Language is compulsory. You have to learn different language. If you learn the language, let's say it's not coming to any work, you can also become a teacher. You can have your own courses. And if you learn carpentry, you can also do other stuff as well, instead of your what you learn in college or not.
Okay, thank you.
Good progress. Just for the next time, don't have that red color in the slide. I could not read it actually.
Sorry for that.
Other than that, it was a good presentation. Good job.